Hi, this is Kate from Kate Forman Yoga, and today we are going to talk about pigeon pose and what to do if your knees don't feel great in a pigeon pose. I have already made this video once before, but a few of the comments said they couldn't see my legs because I wear dark clothing. This is the lightest I've got. I don't wear light clothing, so I tried, and I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna kind of show it a little differently than I did in that last video so that you can see it against the wall, which is white, so that maybe you'll be able to like see my legs a little bit better, but I don't wear light clothing, so this is what we're working with. I try my best. Hopefully you can see this a little bit more. So let's get into it. Basically, here's the deal with pigeon pose. There's a few things. First of all, the cue to get your shin parallel to the front of your mat is not appropriate for everybody's body. There's a few reasons for this. One could be mobility restrictions. One could be just the way that you're built. So if your hip bone doesn't, or your pelvis doesn't have enough space where the leg plugs up into the pelvis to externally rotate, meaning moving away from that midline, to externally rotate that leg in such a way that your shin can get parallel to the mat, it's going to try to pull that range of motion from somewhere else. Typically that pulls it from the knee. So that could be one reason why your knee doesn't feel great. If you're following that cue to get your shin parallel to the front of the mat, ditch the cue. It's not a good one. And just kind of find a more folded up position where the ankle is closer to your pubic bone rather than trying to jam the shin into that parallel to the front of the mat angle. That's the first step. So if it still doesn't feel good after that, it might just mean that putting your body weight on your knee in that position doesn't feel good. There can be a few reasons for that. Typically, if you have a history of knee stuff, that's usually when pigeon pose doesn't feel great for people. So you can do this on your back to decrease the amount of load that you're putting on your knee. So this is called ankle to knee. It's literally the same pose. It's just not going to feel as deep because your body weight is not on the leg. So when our body weight goes on top of something, it pushes everything towards the ground, and that's going to increase the sensation of the stretch around your hip. So this is going to decrease the load, decrease the amount of weight getting pushed towards the ground into nothing, because nothing's getting pushed into the ground, and it should feel a little bit better on your knees. So that is going to look like this. You're going to lay down on your back. My right ankle is going to go across my left knee, and I'm going to draw everything in. You might want to stop here, and this might be enough of a stretch through that outer right hip. If it is not, then you're going to just interlace your hands behind that left thigh and try to pull the left thigh towards you and rotate the right leg away from your face. I'll show you against the wall, so hopefully you can see it a little bit better than with the mat being in the way. So I'll do it with my left side. So this is actually really nice too. If you have a wall, you could take one foot to the wall. My left ankle is going to go across my right knee, and then I'm going to hang out in the stretch this way. You don't have to interlace your hands here. What you can do to make the stretch deeper is the closer your butt moves towards the wall, the deeper of a stretch you're going to feel in that left hip, and the further away from the wall, the less of a stretch. You want to make sure that your butt's not up in the air here. That means you're too close. So you want to find a place where you feel the stretch in the outer hip, but your lower back is on the ground. And that's it. And you just kind of like, not with your hands, but with the leg, you kind of move the left knee forwards so that you feel that stretch a little bit deeper. And that is how I would recommend doing a pigeon pose without doing a pigeon pose if your knees are bothering you. So just to recap, first step, make sure you're not getting that shin parallel to the front of the mat. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And like I said, you might have a mobility restriction in your hip, which means that the body's going to pull it from your knee, and we don't want that. And it could also just be the way that you were built. Like it could just be your bone structure. Your leg doesn't have room to find that level of external rotation, and that's fine. You're going to get the same stretch in a pigeon pose with the ankle towards your pelvis. The other option is what I just showed you, ankle to knee. if you do a pigeon pose the first way and it still doesn't feel good, I would definitely recommend doing ankle to knee instead. You can get that same stretch in the hips without having to worry about any kind of tweak or any turning or twerking or whatever on your knee. So if this was helpful, drop me a comment in the comment section below. You can follow me across all social media platforms at Kate Forman Yoga. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.